What happened to your first crush? I really wish I knew. It was 1980 and she joined our class at school. Svega Ritchie was her name, but I'm not sure if that is the correct spelling. Her father had some sort of important job and moved into the area from Sweden. For that school year we were inseparable. I recall a school trip where we talked about rock formations, limestone in particular. I was smitten for sure. The summer holidays came around. I never got to see her. When the new term started, she never came back to school. That first day back and finding her gone was the first time I felt heartbroken. My best friend too. After he went to another school, we started to talk way less than we did. And he didn't even went into our day parties, mine and our other friend too. Using bad excuses too. Also, every time I asked him to hang out as friends, I never told him what I felt for him. He rejected it because of work or hanging out with his other friends. According to other friend, has now hanging with bad influences. Anyways, we didn't stop talking. Sometimes meet QND, play video games or drink ice cream, but way less frequently. Dated her. Broke up because she got bored. Got back together and broke up again. Said she wanted to be friends. She said, and now I was going to commit die. Got called down to the office and laughed and explained that I just ended a friendship with her and got complimented by said counselor and sent back to class. Pretty fire. Cheated on me for over a month while I was in one of my worst depressive episodes and nearly ended myself over it. 13 years I wanted a relationship with him. At the start he expressed the same. No clue where he is now. But I hope he gets the same treatment. Fucker. He could have at least told me he didn't want the relationship anymore. Said there was someone else that I could have worked with. But the fact it was over a month he did it is what fucked me up the most. I hate you for asking this. Oh, and she married the next guy she dated after meeting him in the drive-thru of her job. I can list the other 3. 2. The next married one of her college teachers who really wasn't much older than her. So it wasn't that bad. They have 3 kids. The next cheated on me with someone she broke up with. Flitted between a few people and eventually got married to a guy that had been married before. The last one married me. Still married. He's living in another state, living a good life. Last time I checked, I still remember him fondly because I asked him to dance at a middle school dance and he said yes, which made my whole night. I was very dorky and shy and didn't even know him very well. I just admired him from a distance, which was probably weird for him, but he was nice to me anyways. And we had one slow dance that made my little heart explode. Glad to have had that experience. She's a local news anchor now. Hindsight and judging from what I'd been hearing about her since, I understand she was just being nice. And her friends are trying to do something nice for me, but she never truly had any interest. I just wish I had appreciated it at the time instead of being a teenager handling his first rejection. It might have been better if she had just shot me down instead of trying to let me down gently. I asked her out to a dance. She told me she was the one putting on the dance. And I was like, oh, cool. Do you want to go with me anyway? And she never gave a direct answer. I was confused for the rest of the time I remembered about it. And after a few confusing years, I realized that silence means no, guys. Silence means no. Ladies, if a guy doesn't back down to silence, he doesn't know this. So tell him that silence means no. Okay? Also a fabulous, successful drag queen. Biggest crush on him all through elementary school. But he also became a wedding planner. He was the one who helped plan my wedding. A wedding and he was like, then met him and was like, yep, this is not a dude I need to worry about. Not that he's ever worried about any dudes. He's not a jealous type and also trusts me. He died unexpectedly last year. We were on and off for a couple of years. He married a co-worker of ours. I was heartbroken. I moved to another state and also married. After 20 years. We were both single and tried a long-distance relationship, but it didn't work. Remained friends over the years. And kept in touch. I was heartbroken when I learned he was found dead when he didn't show up at work. RIP TNS. Met him when we were kids. Dated off and on in junior high. We're friends after that. He called me to reconnect after his wife died. He has become obsessively political, radically racist, disgustingly misogynistic, unapologetically far-right, evangelically Christian. I put Christian in quotation marks because people like him are not what they claim to be. So glad he's on the other side of the continent. We broke up. She married a shithead who went into the army, and she cheated on him quite a few times while he was deployed. Definitely dodged a bullet with that one. She hit me up while he was deployed. She was working at a BB and asked me to come by around midnight so we could catch up. I hated her boyfriend's guts at that point for different reasons, but it was definitely a moment of clarity. We had a crush on each other for like a 3-year period when we were kids. Our families became friends and we would regularly have dinners and such. We ended up drifting when my mum passed and our feelings faded as well. 8 years later, he's dating one of my longtime best friends. Their 1-year anniversary is coming up. No hard feelings or any weirdness. It's just surreal to think about sometimes. He changed schools in the middle of the year. One who cried more than his best friend on his last day was me. I kept hugging him and wanted to be sat next to him at all times. We even walked each other to the bathroom when the other needed to go. It's been 26 years, and I still wonder sometimes how his life is going. Well, let's see. I fell in love with her in elementary school, and I truly had a crush on her from the bottom of my heart back then. Then she started dating one guy after another, and I went my own way. Now she has a kid with my best friend's 40-year-old cousin. About 2 years ago, she's 24. She cheated on him and now lives with her mom again. He turned out to be gay. He got married as soon as it was legal, and I attended his wedding. He was transcendently happy that day, and it warmed my heart. Then he got divorced, got in a severe car accident, and got addicted to opioids. He died of an overdose last year at the age of 36. I'm so glad you had at least one truly happy day, Josh. Because I didn't want to possibly lose my friend. She starts dating another guy from our friend group. Am I mad? No. All this means is that my friends are now even better friends, and I support them. In Christian conservative, anti-COVID vaccine, extreme Second Amendment rights, anti-abortion etc., and block me for trying to argue common sense and human decency when it comes to COVID and precautions. Assuming my elementary school crush counts and I had no actual post-puberty attraction to her, counts. My first crush girlfriend in primary school died of a brain tumor just after secondary school. My second crush girlfriend died in the army in her early 20s, not combat related. Both were awesome girls, and although they died years after we were close and we weren't really in touch, I still think about them sometimes. I'm not sure, but I think she may have liked me too. I was thinking about her and realized she may have been dropping lots of hints I just never realized until it was too late. Some things she said to me now seem like they may have been hints. I regret not getting to know her a bit more, maybe even staying in contact with her. I have no idea. I haven't seen her since we were 4. My dad doesn't remember her last name, so I'll probably never find out. It's not that big a deal though. Our relationship only lasted a short time. It was a whirlwind preschool romance. She wanted to marry me, but at age 4 I just wasn't ready for that kind of commitment. No idea. I moved away from my first school when I was around 12, right before social media was a thing, and didn't stay in touch with anyone from the area. I did try looking them up for shots and gigs on FB, but couldn't find them. Though since it was a girl, it is possible they got married and changed their name or something. He cheated on me with my best friend in high school. After graduating, we lost touch. Ran into him at the mall around 15-20 years later. As I walked past him, he called my name and I kept walking. A couple years ago, he dropped dead in his driveway. He had gained about 400 pounds and was at least 700 pounds when he died. He jumped off a bridge into the river and is now paralyzed from the neck down. He's a twin. I'm also a twin, and his twin brother has had to take care of him ever since. 25 years now. I thought we are meant to be, guess not. Our birthdays are on the same day as well. Just useless info I thought I'd add to the story. He passed away back in 2017. He was about to be 22. We were only friends in elementary school, and I liked him because he was a skater boy lol. After elementary school, we never talked or anything, but our families were close. A ton of people turned up to his memorial services, most of our class. It was sad. I have been to 6 schools, so the first one, who knows? Though I do try to fun about her sometimes. As for second crush, she got married to someone else, which was the best thing, as I always used to think, what if I go back in time until that point now? It is more like she was never mine to begin with. We dated all through high school, and then drifted apart when we went to separate colleges. His mom always stayed in touch and sent a nice letter every year at Christmas. His mom and grandchildren all died from carbon monoxide poisoning about 10 years ago. I was so saddened to hear that. Contacted a mutual friend who did a video call with 3 of us. I'm still an introvert nerd, and she got into drugs, parties and smoking. Friends said she's done wild stuff at some parties, and yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, she's no longer my type. I wished her well, and she did the same. It was a girl that attended my best friend's school. He was sent to French school. I was at a normal school. I was probably 12 or so, and only spent time with her a few times. When I was at my father's funeral 7 years later, I saw her headstone nearby. Later learned it was suicide. Met them in a bar years later, still hot as hell. Really pleased to see me. Was celebrating getting engaged. My thrice-pierced heart claimed to be glad for them. May have drunk more than intended that eve. 25 years later, I have no clue. I genuinely hope they are happy.